Hey guys, it's DJ with the 10 Hove Realty Group, and welcome to episode 3 of Opening Up. Today, Darrell Wordelmann of Rooneys Oceanfront Restaurant in Long Branch joins me to discuss his plans for the post-stay-in-place orders. We are live on Facebook. All right, guys, it's DJ 10 Hove with the 10 Hove Realty Group. I am here today for another episode of Opening Up. Today, episode 3, we are with Darrell Wordelmann of Rooneys Oceanfront Restaurant in Long Branch, New Jersey. He's got some really cool stuff. He's going to tell you about what their plans are, how they're staying afloat, what their plans are on the other side of hopefully the lifting of the pandemic quarantine. But first and foremost, let's just introduce him. Darrell, how are you, man?
How are you doing? Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Always good to have friends on here and local businesses. And you guys are an iconic restaurant in Long Branch. It's funny, as we were promoting this across social media for the last couple of days, I've got people from North Jersey. I've got people in New York and people all over the place that are like, oh, I went to college at Monmouth University. And when mom and dad would come and visit, that was the place we all went for dinner.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's our 25th year. It's a hard way to spend our 25th year. You know, right before this started, we were getting sweatshirts made, you know, with the 25-year logo, and it's just like, whoop, let me hold off on it for a second here for, you know, a couple minutes.
I don't think you'll forget this year.
Months.
For sure.
Yeah.
So what I want to talk about first and foremost is how you got started in the restaurant business. For people who don't know your involvement in Rooneys, how that started, how you started in the restaurant business in Jersey altogether. Give people a little bit of background, because I was doing some research back when we first met, and you got started at a restaurant called Bart's in Matawan, right?
Yes, exactly. I was actually 12 years old. I took my brother's ID. My brother is 4 years older than me, and he's 16. So I was able to take his ID and then work as a busser. I was doing a little St. Clement's Church dishwashing and Bartholomew's. I was bussing tables. And when I was 14, I started working at MVP Sports Cafe, which is over in Aberdeen, Matawan, a little club action. And again, 14 years old, I wasn't allowed to be there, but I had my brother's ID. I think I rattled him recently when I rattled his. I mentioned his social security number out loud. And he goes, like, I still have it.
Don't do that on this broadcast, please.
Not on this broadcast. I should. It's his social security, so I should probably just do it. Give him a headache for the next couple of weeks.
Yeah. So you got started over there and moved up, and then how did you get involved in Rooneys? Because Rooneys was a restaurant before you got involved in a management perspective. You were in another role there, right?
Yeah, well, Rooneys opened in 1995. So I had started working as a server 2 nights a week, bartender 2 nights a week, and in the kitchen 2 nights a week. And pretty much at the end of the day, it was one of those things where, you know, having multiple roles, I guess the owners at the time, they just liked what I was doing. And they just asked me if I wanted to become an assistant manager. And at the time, I was 20 years old. And I was like, okay, I'll go with it. The person where I felt bad was the person who hired me and brought me into the Rooneys. They ended up firing, and I ended up kind of getting his job. And then about 4 years later, I became the general manager at age 24. I'm now 44. I'm basically in my 24th, 25th year here. So it's one of those things where I worked up the ladder, worked hard, put my blood, sweat, and tears into it, and at the end of the day, I could say I own the empty chairs. You know, that's my seat right there.
Not empty for all that long, hopefully.
Hopefully not.
But I don't think people really realize either that you're talking 25 years ago. 25 years ago, for those people who have been down to this area in Monmouth County, and you have Pier Village and the new iteration of Pier Village that's coming up, and all the restaurants and all the stuff that's here, it was nothing like that 25 years ago.
No, it was. I'll tell you, we didn't have to worry about parking 25 years ago. That's for sure. There was no parking issues. We had the whole, you know, block to ourselves.
Yeah, I mean, it was beachfront north. You guys were the first real restaurant that was there. And I still to this day think when you're looking at Monmouth County and the restaurant scene, you guys have the best spot of almost any restaurant I've seen in Monmouth County, being right on the water. And that's really what you guys are selling, aside from the ambiance and the great food you have.
Yeah, well, you know, when Jack Rooney was, and that's where Rooney comes from, I mean, he just kind of got the whole, like, what are you, crazy? What are you doing? What are you, nuts? And his vision was just dead on. He stuck to it. And it's one of those things where if you saw what it was, we had a security guard here. For dining, there was a chance that your car could have gotten broken into. and in which it happens. There was a security guard, and next to us, where there's a beach club now, was an armory, and it was just a red brick building that was closed down. A gentleman owned all this property and all this land, and eventually just started selling it off. But it's one of those things where it was not. There was nothing. We were probably at one point the only restaurant on the ocean in Monmouth, maybe even Ocean County.
Definitely all of Monmouth County, and
maybe us and Howard Johnson's. Maybe Howard Johnson's, I think, was going in Asbury Park then.
Yeah, I mean, you think of the places now that are on the waterfront in Asbury Park. That stuff wasn't there. I mean, none of that construction.
No. There was no Pier Village.
Forget it.
No, there was nothing.
Yeah.
So we're the first, and listen, we've held strong. We've had our ups, we've had our downs, and thank God we have a phenomenal team right now. And we just been, like the last time I looked on Open Table, we were at 4.7 rating, and we sit 480 people. I mean, that's tough to do, but we've been doing a great job with it. Thanks because of the team. Yeah,
well, you have to. You've built a lot of loyal patrons, right? You've got people who want to be there whenever they can be out dining, especially when the weather's good in the summertime. But you've got to believe, because of that strong base that you've created, that's going to come back to you when this all opens up. But before that happens, you're now just like every other restaurant out here, which is trying to find a way to scrap through it and figure out how you're going to stay afloat to get to that point when people are allowed to be out dining in the restaurant again. So what are you guys doing right now? Are you doing takeout? Are you not doing takeout?
Okay. Right now we shut down. Okay. The reason why we shut down was because we wanted to keep our staff safe. That was the number one goal. One of my manager's wife is a nurse, and a frontline nurse, respiratory therapist. So she's there every single day dealing with it. So I have to bring him to work and then turn around, and then he has to then worry about what's going on at home, and does he catch it, and then I catch it. I have a newborn at home. That was actually one of the owners really truly said, like, you know what, safety first. And it was a smart move. It was definitely an educational move for me for the future. Like, sometimes you got to put, like, the business last, family first. And that's really what that came from. But we're itching. So next week we're starting. We're going to start our takeout curb. We're going to do a curbside process next week. We have a nice menu we're going to put together. We're thinking about opening up a fish market off to the side, so people just come in and they don't have to get a complete meal. They can get salmon, tuna, mahi, all that fun stuff. And
so in a normal year, this would be a huge weekend for you, right? Because I think you've been on record with this quote that I'm going to butcher right now, but it's like, Easter is the first day of spring training. Mother's Day is the first game of the season, and you really hit your stride by Father's Day, something like that.
Exactly. You actually nailed it. It's people don't realize what we go through, but when Easter rolls by, you're in baseball mode, you're in spring training mode. Then you nailed it. Mother's Day is the start of the season. You're kind of rusty. You're playing in some cold weather stadiums. You're getting the kinks out still. The muscles are a little sore. And then by Father's Day, it's game time. This is it. This is mid-season. You got to start putting your best ability has to go forward at that point. What's tough about that is really now we're past this point. We have to bring staff in and try to get the place situated. But how do we get it situated where we're in restriction mode? We're 6 feet apart, we're 8 feet apart, and it's what we want.
Right.
So there's going to be definitely some obstacles. This is going to be a different experience for all. But we're ready. We have the outside dining. We have 250 seats outside. 280 seats. So we got to make it 50%. We'll bring it down to 140. That's a huge restaurant as well. So
yeah, well, I think that's key for, at least from what I'm hearing anecdotally, right? As you're talking to people and asking, when are you going to be comfortable going out eating again? And even people that I've interviewed on the show, Michael Duru, actually, we were talking to him episode 1, and he was talking about his comfort level and other people that he knows. You're going to feel more comfortable going out to eat when it's an outdoor dining area, just because of not being so close and so exposed and being in a confined environment. So that outside space for you guys is going to be huge. And I got to believe that will pay off.
Yeah, it sure will pay off. It's nice to have. It's nice for us in that sense that we have the situation where it's fully capacity, it's a big spot, but we have a lot of space that we could definitely put tables in that we're going to definitely take advantage of, because we have to take advantage of it. We have to make up some time here. We have April and May, which are huge months for Rooneys. We got hit hard there. Actually, funny you mentioned Michael Duru, okay? So, my pocket square here, he made this for me. It's a pocket square that it's also a mask, okay? So that's Michael Duru's.
Yeah, that's ingenious right there. That's their creation.
He did an amazing job. So, but the outside dining is definitely, going to be key for us this year. At the end of the day, we have to make sure we do it right.
Right.
To make sure we don't get greedy. And we have, because I don't want to sit there and I hear these places are jamming these places in already. And it's kind of like, that's not who we're going to be. We're going to make sure that the customer feels extremely safe coming in.
Yeah, so yesterday there was big news that the Osprey down in Manasquan actually made the call that they're going to shut down for the entire summer. Not to put you on the spot, but has that really been something you guys have thought about, just scrapping the whole summer, soup to nuts, versus opening up once you're allowed to do it and what that looks like? I mean, how do you think about that as a restaurant manager?
Well, it's tough because what happens, you have staff, right? And the employees are so important for us. And, we have to get them back. We have to get them going. We have to get, the chefs, rolling. But then you have to look at it like, okay, so what happens if now he pushes it to August? So we have two profitable months, and then October, November, December, January, February, are pretty much, months that is a struggle. So I could see I could see definitely Osprey, because you're a club, right? How are they going to control 50% and then someone not dancing with why even get a DJ at that point? So we have an advantage of being a restaurant, and we're really not that bar driven, so people won't be bumping shoulders. But it is something like, the perfect quote in that article, because I had read the article too, in Asbury Park Press, was the lawyers are going to be licking their chops at this opportunity. And that's something that we are trying to protect ourselves and protect the customers. We don't want to risk anybody getting sick. That's our main goal.
We've actually got an attorney watching right now. I'll give a shout out to Aaron Liller that's on here right now. Now he specializes in real estate, so hopefully there's not going to be.
He might be changing real fast. Right now he just opened up a book. Coronavirus 101. He's in.
Yeah. No, but you bring up a really serious point, which is restaurants have a little bit more ability to space out the tables, right? You're going to have to take some tables out. You're going to have to put people a little farther apart. The bar, you're not going to be able to have people congregating at the bar. It's going to be a little bit more just delivering the drinks to the table. Do you anticipate that your servers are going to be wearing masks at that point to deliver food? I mean, do you think that the environment of the restaurants really going to dramatically change? And is there any processes and things you guys are thinking about that might be entirely different? Does the business model change, or are you thinking about doing more takeout, more boxed food, or are you guys really going to stick to what you do well, and that's, quality food on site?
Our number one is going to be our a la carte customer. That's what our number one goal is from day one, right? It's 25 years. They're folks from, Western Monmouth County. That's where you're from, right? Marlboro, Manalapan, Colts Neck. I mean, they're huge for us. And we want to make sure they come out here and they feel safe. So we're going to stick to a la carte number one. But as for the different protocol, that's going to be a lot different. We do have some screens going up where we think that it's going to be a danger zone. We're going to have, maybe in one way, out another way, because we have the ability to do that. Try to keep the social distancing as best as we can. But at the end of the day, we know it's not going to be, it's going to be impossible. For the servers, yes, they'll be wearing masks, gloves. We're ready, have a protocol in place, talking to the staff, talking to the managers, how we're gonna attack this, and we're gonna attack it the right way. Because again, I'll be selfish here. I got to protect myself, right? And with myself, I have a newborn, 8 weeks old at home, so I'm not want to go home and then have the baby get sick because daddy was someone's waving. Sorry. So,
you're the mayor in Long Branch, so
no, I got the one person who shouldn't be on the boardwalk is on the boardwalk and waved off to me. So we'll be wearing masks. The kitchen will be wearing masks, even though like they might say that it's not the rule or the law or the regulation or policy, but we will be doing that because we have to keep everybody safe. We want everybody to feel comfortable, you know. But like, even like going to a computer screen where it's a touch screen, we're going to have stylus pens, you know, so no one can touch their computer screen with a finger. It has to be with a stylus pen, you know, which is going to be, you know, a big difference. There's going to be a lot of changes, and that's going to be our number one goal is figure it out, do it right, make sure we're safe, and then we're going to implement the curbside pickup, and we're going to do the fish market, which we think will be just a big win for us because we have a lot of people with the Beach Club, Beachfront North, and Pier Village that are always looking for us to do takeout. Chef
Thomas, your chef over at Rooneys, just said you should be Darrell for mayor 2021.
Listen, he definitely he thinks I am going to be governor of the New Jersey one day. And
trust me, after watching what everything's happened on the news right now, I don't think you want that job.
I will never get into politics because I don't want people to dislike me. I mean, like, you know, there might be a couple people that dislike me, but like at the end of the day, I like people liking me. Why would I want to get into politics and have half people hating me?
Speaking of liking you, you were filmed, if I remember correctly, for the New Jersey concert with Bruce and everybody a couple weeks back, but I didn't see you on the live broadcast. What happened?
I got the boot, you know. Bald and ugly doesn't make it, you know. I mean, Michael Darrell could only do so much. You know, he can only cover up to here. He can't do anything. The mask is, you know, if I wore the mask, I might have gotten a cut. I can't look like DJ. I can't have the hair, the smile. You know, come on, you know.
For what it's worth, I don't think it had anything to do with that. I think it might have had more to do with the fact that you wanted to capture the ocean behind you.
Ocean background. I looked a little. I was a shadow.
People want to see that face, man. Look, you've got 38 people that are watching you right now on Facebook Live. You've obviously got some friends that people think you're pretty cool.
Thank God for my wife. She has more friends than I do.
So you talked about your newborn. You've got an 8-week-old son at home, right?
Yes.
Congratulations on that first. What's his name?
Thomas Peter.
Any significance to the name?
Well, Peter.
Did you name it after Chef Thomas?
Yeah, Chef Thomas, you know, that would probably be the last thing I would have ever done, you know. Actually, after he said, you know, he reminded me that his name was Thomas, and I said, I would have rethought that. But, Thomas, you know, just a great friend named Thomas. I grew up with him. That was definitely an influence, but my wife and I both like the name. He is one of the disciples. And then Peter is my middle name and her father's middle name as well. So that's where Peter just rolled right into that.
Very cool. Congratulations on the
process.
It's a big change. Like you couldn't have more things changing all at the same time here. So a couple other questions for you. I know you had mentioned to me, or I got wind through the grapevine. I don't know if this is actually happening, so forgive me if I'm blowing you up here, but something about like a May Madness bracket idea you guys had. Are you following through on that?
No, yeah, we're going to roll with that and probably next week. I'm trying to put it together, but we're going to do a Rooneys Madness. Okay, and with this Rooneys Madness, it's going to be the top 64 things that people love about Rooneys. And then it's going to be like just the bracket. So it might be key lime pie versus the roast beef sandwich. And then they're going to vote. And then whoever goes next. And we're going to have some people fill out some brackets beforehand, and we'll have some prizes along the way. You know, and have some fun prizes, you know, like, you know, a couple of Rooneys gift cards, the Oculus, you know, virtual goggles will be there, and like a beach bike we'll give away. So, you know, we're starting that out in the next week or two, but that should be a pretty fun thing. Instead of, we all missed March Madness with the basketball, so we figured we'll throw Rooneys Madness out there. I mean, listen, 64 things. It's the view. Is it the palm trees? Is it the brunch? You know, we have plenty.
The restaurant manager.
That's it. No, that's it. I got the 16 seed.
Where are you guys going to be distributing those brackets and people following it? Should they follow your Instagram page or Facebook page? Is it going to be on the website?
Yeah, that will definitely be Instagram at Rooneys Ocean, and then also or Rooneys Oceanfront. It could be, you know, and then Facebook as well. So we'll be putting that out there, our social media. Definitely follow that as well.
Very cool. Anything that, and you guys are closed right now, like you said, keeping your staff and yourselves and your family safe. Is there anything that your patrons can do right now who want to participate and really want to help keep you guys afloat right now? Is there anything they can do? You still there, Darrell? Pause for technical difficulties. I think we lost our guest. Well, hang on a second here while Darrell hops back in. We lost him for a second here. Guys, there's a ton of restaurants that are doing takeout right now, and a lot of restaurants that have chosen to go the route of actually just shutting down and waiting until things are safe to open back up again. I think that's the route that Rooneys has chosen to go. So until Darrell hops back on here, I think the answer to that one is going to be just try to keep yourself safe, keep some dry powder ready so that when you can actually go out there and support the restaurant, that you're actually able to do that and come back and support his restaurant. We'll give him another second here to hop back on as well. But if you're live on Facebook watching us right now and you guys have any questions here on the side, please feel free to chat them in. We'll give a couple shout outs here. I see Brooke Baker Haygood. How are you? Rich Cinciamino. Man, that's a blast from my past back from college. Stan, Max Lowy. How you doing, guys? Chris Banta, what's up? Maria Faustinus, Jeff Ryan. Big shout out to Aaron Liller out there who says his litigation arm of the company's being set up as we speak. No ambulance chasers, buddy. Chef Thomas is on. Joe Thomas, Natalie Varayo, beautiful and awesome agent down in Keller Williams, Atlanta. Jerry Santoro, good to see you. Karen Finnegan, how's it going? Play us a tune on that guitar while we are waiting for Big D. That's just purely a prop. That doesn't actually work. I think the last time I actually played that guitar on camera was at my wedding, which I've been married for, it's going to be 16 years. I had to hesitate there for a second. All right. Former server at Rooneys missing that view. Joe Thomas. Guys, hang tight here for a couple more minutes. I know we've got 43 people on here. No doubt Darrell's going to make his entrance back on here. Got a couple parting notes we definitely want to share with you once he hops back on. Sophia Duru, how are you? Big shout out to Alexa. Hope she's staying safe with you right now too. Gail Gray. Ron Eisen, how's it going? Question for you guys while you're here in the Facebook chat on the side. What is the restaurant you are most hoping, aside from Rooneys, right? We'll take that one out of the mix right now. What's the restaurant you are most hoping to open back up locally to you once the pandemic and the quarantine actually subside and you're able to go back out and sit down in a restaurant? I'd love to know what other restaurants you guys are hoping to hear from and hoping to go out and frequent. Chat those in on the side of the box in Facebook if you're watching there. I know we tend to like the outdoor restaurants. One of my favorites is Porta down in Asbury Park. Kids always love that place. Big open air. I think that's another restaurant that's going to do really well once things open back up. The Watermark down in Asbury Park being up on the second floor deck there. And I think Russell has some big plans for that place to go back into a little bit more of a lounge style versus having it as a full-on club. All right, we got Big D back on with us here. You back, buddy? Oh, he fell off again. You there, Darrell? Uh-oh, we can't hear you. Can't hear you. Got to fix that thing again. You can hear me, but we can't hear you. Everybody wants to hear that sweet, sweet voice. Whatever you did the last time, let's do that again.
How about, can you hear me now?
Oh, we got you now, loud and clear.
Yeah, that was sloppy. Sloppy. I had to change spots. I might have lost, internet or something, whatever it was. Wi-Fi.
I have lost 3 pounds sweating out the stress of trying to get back on.
I mean, hold on.
You're so tech savvy.
I need a tablecloth for my sweat right now. God. Whew.
That's awesome. Everybody's happy to hear you back on here. We were
I'm sure.
Time, wondering what other restaurants people want to frequent when they come back on. We got a Patricia's of Homedale. We got Biss.
Oh, Patricia's. There you go.
Tommy's at Seabright. All these awesome Monmouth County restaurants that people are just dying to go back to. I know. That scene to revisit.
Yeah.
The question I had for you before you left was, what can people who want to help you and the business right now do, if anything? Is there anything they can do to support you guys right now?
Right now it's just, I think this not just us, but all restaurants is like support the restaurants in the sense of like, take a deep breath, just realize what we've been through for the past 2 months. We just got rocked. We don't need you to come in and like, have an opinion of what we should be doing and what we shouldn't be doing. And, if you had a bad meal, just come up to us on the side. We don't need to be getting smacked social media driven right now. It's just, I feel bad for some of these restaurants who were getting beat up with because they had a to-go order and they messed their to-go order up. And it's like, they're on getting 1-star Yelp reviews because, they made a mistake and it's not what they do. And it's like, I'm never going back here because, they messed this up. I'm like, this is not who they are. I just think that's probably just not just Rooneys. That's our biggest support is that we just need support of just like, we just need happiness.
Compassion, right?
Compassion. We need happiness. I want people to walk in here and be happy, enjoy what we have with this ocean, enjoy the outside dining, enjoy that we're working our hardest to keep you safe and keep them safe. It's important. So that's where I say people could help us out the most.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's really sad.
I want to throw $100 in my pocket every 10 minutes too. That helps out too. But that's not gonna happen.
Yeah, it's a shame when you see people blasting not just restaurants but other businesses too that are stepping outside their comfort zone, trying to do something that is outside of what they normally would do, and they're getting blasted for it just because they're not perfect. Instead of people being understanding that they're getting an opportunity to be able to do something that they otherwise wouldn't have been able to do and be thankful for it.
Sure. Yes.
Right.
Yeah. No, it's important that people realize what we're doing, the amount of work we're putting in, the hours we're putting in, the effort we're putting in, just to get this place going, and we're not even open yet.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Aside from Rooneys, because obviously we know you have you're a little biased here, but aside from Rooneys, when you and Allison and baby Thomas can actually go out and grab a bite from someplace, where's the first place you're headed?
You're gonna really put me on a spot by saying this, right?
To answer. It's okay.
I tell you what, it's got to be Beach Tavern.
Yeah.
Yeah, George is a great friend of mine. He has beautiful outside dining, and plus, he copies my menu all the time, so I know at least I'll get some good food because he just puts my items on his menu.
There you go.
Oh.
Look, we can't name every single restaurant in Monmouth County on the beach, so there's no favoritism here. There's got to be a first place to go, but you can certainly frequent a different restaurant every night of the week once places open back up. So there's no partiality.
You really can. It's that is the good thing about what we have now, right? When it was just Rooneys 25 years ago, it was one of those things where like when you're working here, you can't come here. Right? Now we have a lot of options. There's a lot of great restaurants, and we're just fortunate that we do live in a great community.
Yeah. Oh, that community loves you guys, is going to come back and support you strong. I know I'll be there as soon as we can get back out and eat. I was introduced to the restaurant when a good friend of mine, Steve Gimbelman, who's also a Colts Neck resident here, had a beachfront property right there on the other side of the restaurant. And we went over and checked it out, and great food, great ambiance. There's nothing better than coming off the beach and then just grabbing a cocktail on the way back.
Yeah, it's a good spot. It's, we do the best we can to keep it on the upkeep of it. I will say this, we do have a professional cleaning company that comes in every single day. We're just not one of those mom and pop shops. It's a professional, and we've always had them for 6 years. And they use a great process to make sure that this place is definitely clean. So that's the best thing. We have the view and cleanliness.
Yeah, absolutely. Any parting notes you want to leave people with as you're still trying to make sure we get to a place where it's safe enough to be able to go and frequent the restaurant? Any parting notes you want to leave for people?
No, really, it comes down to this, not just the restaurant industry, but our country and our state. We've been hit hard through this. And it's important that we truly follow some of these rules. I drove past a golf course today and I saw a foursome on the golf course, and that's not going to help me get open. It's not going to help my friends get open. It's not going to help the vendors get back and start brewing. I think everybody right now needs to sit there and understand that we, as the state, need to listen to what Murphy is saying. He's not doing this because of any political things. There's people in the hospital right now that just worked their butts off for 2 months. They need a deep breath. once they get their deep breath, then we'll get going. But at the end of the day, we need to do our end, and everybody else needs to do their end to make sure that everybody else gets open.
Well said, man. Hopefully that's sooner rather than later. I would love
maybe not. I might have to duck on my way out. I might get shot.
Hopefully we're all there sometime in the next 30 days when you can be open and we can be there supporting you. We're anxious for that.
All right, DJ, I really appreciate you having me. Thank you so much. Hey, listen, anybody who wants to buy a house, he is the man. All right, this guy knows what he's doing. So if anybody who wants to get into the real estate, wants to buy a house, invest, he is the man.
You're very kind, man. It's nice to actually have a friend who's a client and people we like to support as well. So I appreciate you hopping on here with me. You've got a massive following. I think we were up to almost 55 people that were on during the live broadcast. So that support and that love is going to come back to you in no time. So best of luck with the restaurant. We'll see you around in the summer. All right.
DJ, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Have a good one.
Be well. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. Please make sure to check out some of these other videos. Hit the like button down below. Make sure you're subscribed to get alerted when we drop a new video. And if you know another local New Jersey business that should be featured on this series, give us a shout, drop us a comment down below.